Drogba indirdi ceza. Snyder. Snyder gol! Allah'ım gol! Muslera. Fernando Muslera. Golün adı Muslera. Sarıyoglu. Drogba. This is incredible.
Merhaba and welcome to episode 8 of The Lion's Den, a Galatasaray podcast, done by the community, for the community. From all around the universe, I'm your host Samet, and we've gathered here today from New York, America. Chief Editor, Mobster, always late, and Gamer Emre. How are you liking Elden Ring, bro?
Loving it. It's a little brutal, but making it work.
You're used to it, yeah? You're used to the
Yes,
Dark
sir.
Souls series.
I'm used to supporting Galatasaray, so it's nothing new.
It's the same thing, right?
It's brutal.
From Cheeseland, the Netherlands, historian Saleh. Tell us again, every week a new fact. Come on.
Okay. Not as special as last time, but a fact I found out. Dragonflies have 6 legs, but they cannot walk, in case you didn't know. So they're only for landing and I guess getting off again. Also, another thing I saw is they actually can't sting. I don't know if I was the only one, but I always thought that, dragonflies could sting you and it would hurt really bad, but they don't do that actually. They bite you instead.
I don't know.
I don't know which is worse.
They're huge and scary as fuck, bro.
That is true. That's why when I'm like abroad and I see those things, I get really scared. But apparently, they only bite you, and that's only if they are really close and feel threatened. They're not like wasps or whatever. So.
Okay. Well, we don't have Mazar from Melbourne, Australia. He's out with his kangaroos drinking, so he couldn't join us. And Yasin was just too afraid to face me today, so he's not joining us as well. And with that said, I've been saving the last for best. Yeah, I did not forget. From Toronto, Canada, Coach John. Everyone, big applause.
After the abuse I went through on episode 6, I think it was, I had to take a break. Last episode I took a little break, but I'm back now, so let's do it. We're in good spirits now. Let's go.
All safe and sound, no car crashes, nothing?
Nothing. I had no comment.
Okay.
Oh, maybe on a side note, Yasin is currently in Turkey. He's been to the Trabzonspor game and also the Giresun game against Göztepe. So what I said last episode, it's basically confirmed. This guy's not a Galatasaray supporter.
He's been transferred.
Yeah. I've been trying to sell him to other podcasts, but they don't seem to want him, so.
Oof.
All right. For our listeners, today's podcast menu, as usual, we'll cover the recent news. We'll quickly go through it, and we'll mainly focus on the UEFA draw, as you all might know. We'll discuss today's Rizespor Performance, and ahead of next week's game against Konyaspor, we will give our predictions, as usual. So, my wonderful Lions, the recent news. I'll quickly go through it, and then you can pick out which one you want to discuss. Burak Elmas has made some announcements this week about how much fees every manager has gotten paid. I'll not dwell too much about it. You can go on Twitter and have a look. Small updates linked with last episode is also Murat Sancak, we said before, Adana Demirspor president. He made another statement, which is interesting. He basically said, I gave Yunus Akgün 2 slaps and said, what's wrong? Are you playing as a scaredy chicken because Fatih Terim is watching you? After that, he went on and played well. Very strange statement. Still no fine from TFF or anything to this guy. Also, what we said last episode, BitGet global deal. A new sponsor has been officially announced this time. Last time it wasn't fully known yet. Still don't know how much we're getting. That's an unknown factor. We did see them today in our shirts, on the shorts to be specific. And a few rumors. We said last time Sampdoria was interested in Chikaldao. Now we know it's 10 million. Obviously, it's still a rumor, but yeah. Apparently, also Emre Kılınç has been receiving interest from clubs like Getafe, Mallorca, and Clermont. And then finally, the most important news out of all, the UEFA draw on the 25th of February, where we could link up, match up with the unseeded opponents, which was Atalanta, Barcelona, Real Betis, Braga, Leipzig, Porto, Rangers, or Sevilla. And guess who we drew, guys? Well, you all know.
Barcelona.
We drew our fourth
Exactly.
opponent.
Surprise, surprise. The toughest one.
That's your second team, right, Emre?
Yes, sir.
So maybe going from there, like, what do you think of that?
It's gonna be a tough game. They're actually catching form under Xavi. I don't know. It's the most difficult draw we could possibly gotten out of that. But you never know with Galatasaray.
That is true. Yeah, like you mentioned, they've indeed been picking up form. I think when Xavi just took over, just like our guys, so I have some hopes for better results and like this form to continue. But when Xavi just took over, I think he had like 2 free losses, one of which was in the Copa del Rey. But after that, I don't think he actually really lost a game. I think he did draw like 1 or 2 times, but he's only been taking wins. And with the recent transfers of, I believe, Adama Traore and Aubameyang, they've been doing pretty well.
Also, Ferran Torres. The front three is completely changed. Like,
True.
front three is like not reminiscent of anything before.
Mm-hmm. However, from what I read though, Ferran Torres seems to be, at least as of now, not as clinical. He seems to miss quite some chances, but you'll definitely see that when they play against us, he'll suddenly bang all those goals in that he's missing now. So, yeah.
Well, we don't know. I mean, maybe both you and Emre, who would you have liked to draw from those opponents?
Honestly, I was actually hoping we'd get Barcelona. Because who else better to go out to, Like, if you win, it's like a big deal, right? But if you lose, it's not so much of a big deal if you lose. Because it's, at the end of the day, Barcelona.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was hoping the same exact thing. Like, the thing with that is, first of all, for Barcelona, I think, well, for me at least, I knew it was a matter of time before they started catching fire with Xavi. I knew that was going to happen. Like, who's better to have at the helm than, who knows Barcelona better than Xavi, So I knew they were going to start playing good football eventually. But the thing is with this tie is that I want to know if Dominic Torrent has the key to unlock Barcelona or not. Does he have a couple tricks up his sleeve for Barcelona since he knows them so well? And I'm excited to see that. Who knows, man? Maybe there will be a surprise. Of course, it's probably the hardest draw. I wanted that as well. Like Emre said, if we're gonna go out, I'd rather it to be against Barcelona. And let's see what we can do. We're playing against a giant here, right? Let's see what we can do. Maybe we can surprise a few people, but I don't know. Let's see what Torrent has in his back pocket.
We say that Barca's the hardest, and I mean it is true, but like, let's also not kid ourselves. Like, Rangers are also pretty good. We saw what they did against Dortmund, of all teams. I think if you would have to choose a weaker one, I guess you would go with like Braga, but still, I think they still could do a job. And as for myself, I also would have liked to see Barcelona, as crazy as it may sound, because it's still a European Cup tie. We could indeed have something up on our sleeves and try to surprise them. And if we do win, it will be like, obviously it's the Europa League, but it will be like one of those matches we had against Real Madrid, right? Where we won at home.
Yeah, famous.
I mean,
famous
we'll
match.
never forget it, basically. We'll never forget it.
If I can add to that, one other reason that I like our Barcelona draw is that, remember in our Europa League fixture, we had a lot of, better teams than us. And one of the reasons why we did so well is because we played more control and more counter, right? Because they gave us openings in the back, and we kind of utilized that. If we got Braga, for example, they would probably do the opposite against us, and that's where we have issues opening up teams. So I think this is a good opportunity for Torrent to showcase his football.
Now, what I want to say is, actually, I didn't think about it as much, but it is true, because from what I also remember, Barcelona play with Piqué and Garcia, and I've seen Garcia a few times. He doesn't seem that he seemed to be kind of out of position quite often. So if we could take advantage of these pockets, then yeah, if we hit him on the counter, just like how we did against the other teams, we could actually have a chance. But we'll see.
Yeah.
We're very hopeful. We're fans, obviously. Bit delusional at times, but that's part of it, right? But I do have hope, even though it's Barcelona.
For me, I was really hoping for Braga, especially seeing how they really struggled against Sheriff. And thinking about that, I was like, okay, that's probably one of the only teams in this group stage that we could actually do something with.
Mm-hmm.
That was my initial thought.
Mm-hmm.
But after having drawn Barcelona, I'd say I agree with Emre on his points that, yeah, if we're going to lose, I'd rather lose to Barcelona than to Rangers because we lose against Rangers as well. And for Barcelona, we have something. We have Torrent, who's been there for 12 years and knows how they play their game. And that's basically my last resort of hope that I have for the game against Barcelona. And to be clear, I'm talking about the away game. In Istanbul, in our own stadium, with our own fans, we can beat anyone. I'm guaranteed, like 100% sure that the aspect of fans makes such a big difference. And I've been there. I've seen it like firsthand when I was at the Marsilia game against Marseille. Gündüz, how I call him. Every time he touched the ball, like my ear canals, yeah, basically he couldn't play that game. And the stadium had such a big effect on that. And to come back on what Emre said about counter him like we did in European games, I don't know if Torrent can do that. I haven't seen. I mean, I don't have the trust yet with Torrent to see if we're gonna win or not because I don't know. That's simple as that.
I think as well, like think about it as well. The first match we're away, right? If we can go to Spain and come back to Istanbul with a draw, imagine that, like a 1-1 or 0-0 draw. That would be massive. And like exactly what Samet just said, anything can happen in Istanbul. Anything. It doesn't matter who we're playing against, what the scenario is. It's a different ball game when we're at home. Everyone knows that. That's our strength, right? So if we can go to Spain and come back with a draw, that would be incredible. I just hope it's not over in the first leg with 4, 5, 6 nothing. That becomes really difficult. But if we go there, defend a little, and we play a bit more of a cautious match, I think it's possible we get it done and go to the next round. But I think that's the only way we can do it. We really have to be careful in that first leg.
Yep, it's going to be both for Xavi and for Torrent, their first European game.
Right.
Go ahead,
Is it
Salih.
the first European game? Didn't Xavi play in Champions League? Oh, okay. I thought he actually did. Anyway, the thing is, okay, let's say we do beat Barca, which is really great. Then we have another very tough opponent in West Ham or Sevilla. Sevilla being basically Europa League kings, and West Ham, well, being an English physical team. So it will be fun. I did hope that, let's say we did have Barca, that our next opponent would have been something like a Red Star or a Braga, whatever. That would at least feel better. But yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Good money from Europe, right? Hard needed money.
That's true.
Sevilla.
That's true.
Oh man, Sevilla Cup. This is what we're playing for basically. You beat Sevilla, the cup is yours.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like beating an Elden Ring boss, right?
No. Yep.
I hate Sevilla. Ever since I was here in Amsterdam at the Ajax game against Sevilla, and they played such anti-football. Since then, I hate him. I think they changed that up now with their new manager, but just such a shit team in general.
He's almost still mad.
Yeah. I forgot what I wanted to ask you guys.
About the UEFA? Or just
there was some recent news I forgot to mention is that they're selling the broadcast rights for the Super League game. And apparently, like 6 years ago or something, we got like $500 million, and now the bidding was like around 150, $200 million, which is really bad for the league as well. So we're going to see what happens. The alternative is like a Saran Group media, which is like a Fenerli media that can take it as well. So it's going to be interesting what comes out of that as well. I don't know if you guys saw that.
Yeah, I saw that. I even saw news about TFF president asking for all the teams to make sacrifices, not get a yearly bonus from the broadcast rights to entice people to pay more.
Oh,
I mean, I
wow.
don't know if that'll work, but I agree that the rights they're paying really. I mean, it kind of makes sense, right? Turkish league is really bare bones. Like 50% of the Turkish population is probably using IPTV anyway, which is like a tenth of the price. If
IPTV, what's
anything.
that?
I have no
Man,
clue
what's
what
that?
you're talking about.
Yeah. We all
I
have,
just buy.
we have all being subscriptions here,
Yeah,
course.
Digitrick, bro. It's like €100 a year.
I would never betray Digiturk ever.
Yeah. Did you have any other points against Barca? I mean, we're gonna have Peña, Torrent, all Barca students basically against
I think
them.
we
so-
covered it. It's kind of
Yeah.
crazy that the last time Barca was here was what, like almost 20 years ago?
Yeah, it's been a while. We've waited long for Messi to go, and then
And
finally,
of course, he's not here when they come.
exactly. No, I heard that was the situation. Messi just didn't want to play against us. He was too afraid. So
Makes
once
sense.
he left, it was all right.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Of course, it makes sense. Do you want to check the predictions that we had and go towards the Rizespor Performance?
Let's do it.
Okay. So I'm opening up the sheet that we had. I said 4-1 win. Yasin, who's not here, said 3-1. John, you said 2-0. I don't know how you thought
Clean
we wouldn't
sheet.
concede.
How on
Yeah.
earth?
No.
But yeah, Emre said 2-1 win. Salih said 3-1. And our kangaroo said 2-1 win as well. Basically, everyone that said win.
He's a winner.
Got a point.
Yeah, got a point for our local prediction table. And I was the closest, I guess, with 4-1.
That's still a point, boy.
Yeah, I need those 3 points, man. Salih is going up and up.
Don't try
You're
to
going to
don't-
relegate at this point.
Don't try to cheese extra points from that.
No, I'm not. You guys can look as well. So Rizespor Performance, going towards that. First XY, let's have a look. We started out with Marcao and Nelson, as usual. On the left back, no Ömer Bayram. Got, finally. I think they listened to us last episode, especially Torrent, and then put in Van Aanholt after all that complaining.
Definitely, bro.
On the right, we see Omar. Very surprising not to see Sasha Boy. And our midfield duo, not Taylan and Pulgar, but Taylan and Berkan. And then up front, we got Kerem on the left, Çikıldağ in the mid, Emre Kılınç on the right, and then Momo starting up front. So quick recap. First half, there were 5 yellow cards, 3 yellow for Galatasaray, 1 goal by Getson, and 1 goal by Patrick Van Aanholt. Second half, no subs, 6 yellow in total, 3 for Rizespor, which made 1 red because of 2 yellows, and then 3 yellows for Galatasaray. 4 goals in the second half, completely different game. 3 for Gala and 1 for Rizespor. And 2 pens we had in the second half as well. The first one, Gomis missing. Second one, Babel scoring. A proper Dutch night, I would say, for Galatasaray today.
Just how you like it.
Yeah, I think Yasin was complaining about me loving the Dutch, but look who's here now.
Yeah, the Dutchies got it done for us today.
Yeah, can't even defend himself now, Yasin.
Powerless.
So, let's start with Coach John. How'd you find us first half, second half, general remarks that you had for this game?
Yeah, so first half, we started really fast, I thought. We were flying right out of the gate. We had that high press going as well right from the beginning. I thought we were doing well with that. Right at the beginning of the match too, in the second minute, we were pressing. Rize were trying to build out of the back. Berkan was pressing really high, and he sort of forced a turnover there. And we had Momo in the box with the ball, and he decided to lay it off, I think, to Emre, who sort of went wide. And that was in the second minute, so I think we kind of caught them off guard with that really high press. But yeah, I mean, in terms of the first half, I thought we played well. That high press and stuff lasted for about 15 minutes, I think. And then after 15 minutes, we settled in a bit more and we're trying to build and stuff like that. And a big positive that I had this week, opposed to the other weeks, the last time I was on in episode 6 that we did, I was saying I was really frustrated with the really good spells of possession that, didn't have any purpose to them, though. I was really annoyed with that. But I felt like today when we were keeping the ball, there seemed to be a bit more purpose. Like we were playing forward a lot more and a little bit more direct, which I was glad to see. So hopefully there's a bit more of a balance in that regard coming. And of course, we can't talk about the first half without mentioning the 2 goals. Obviously, I think we all knew in the 7th minute, Jedson just sprinkled some magic all over the pitch. Absolutely ridiculous free kick. We pretty sure everyone saw that coming. We knew he was going to score against us. And then Van Aanholt scored in the 40th minute. Right-footed shot on his weak foot, which was great. Outside the box, bottom corner to tie. So that was good. What did you guys think about the first half?
Can I ask you?
Yeah, sure.
You said the difference between last game and now that we had more possession and actually did something with the possession. Don't you think that's because Rizespor just couldn't press just like Göztepe did against us?
Yeah, I think we caught them off guard a little bit. Like when the match started, we were flying. I don't know if you guys felt the same, but we had such a fast pace going, and that high press I think really caught them off guard. Like they didn't really know what to do or how to build out of the back, and we probably could have scored, like I said, in the second minute with that big chance there. But they're playing, of course, a lot different than the last opponents we played in the last few matches. So I don't know, take that however you will. But I did think we were keeping a better balance of possession and purpose this match. I did feel that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is true that when I was watching, I felt exactly the same. Like the first 5 to 10 minutes, there was so much hunger from our players. They were just sprinting and pressing all over the place. And indeed, in the first 5-10 minutes, we already had like 3-4 shots. We hit the post as well once. I don't know, man. It was really, I felt like we're really trying to get a result here. And then after that, Rize broke through once. They countered us. Then we fouled a player and they got a free kick. Getson netted that one in, an absolute worldie, as most of these teams do against us.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I mean, based on overall match XG, like Rize only had 0.3, and it got 2 goals out of that. That should tell you something, right?
Oh my god.
Story of Galatasaray.
Yep.
Good look. We did have 2 pens. Yeah, we did have 2 pens. Ours was higher, but yeah, theirs was really low.
Yeah, they only had 2 opportunities, to be honest, and they scored those, and that's it. And Getson was very key for Rizespor, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I wanted to touch on.
Yeah, looking at Getson, Emre, like, do you regret not having bought Getson? Because, well, by now everyone should know Beşiktaş bought Getson. In one day, they closed the deal and sold him, well, rented Getson to Rizespor. Yeah, loaned.
Of course, dude. Check this out. Apparently, in our midfield, Berkan and Taylan, they only won 2 and 3 respectively, one-on-one situations, whereas
Duels.
Jetson by himself won 18 out of 28.
Mm-hmm.
Just himself. And he was key for that midfield. He stopped so many attacks of ours. He pushed Rize forward. He's very fast too. He can dribble with the ball. And our players can't really do that. He also has vision. He scored. When's the last time you've seen Taylan or Berkan score? I'm not saying Berkan is bad. And before Yasin comes and murders me in my sleep talking about Berkan, but he's no Getson.
Yeah, he's been
That is true.
underperforming lately for sure. I mean, if you look at Jetson, I think you should mention also that Berkan and Thailand both had like 40 touches with the ball. Jetson had 72, which is a big
Mm-hmm.
difference as well. And I hate to say this, but that deal that you didn't sign with Jetson, that's going to bite our ass for a very, very long time. I mean, he has like a 4 or 5 year contract with Besiktas. This is
Mm-hmm.
not the last time we're going to see Jetson like this. And it's going to hurt every time. It's going to hurt every
It's gonna
time.
hurt, but I think we'll eventually get over it because I mean we found Jetson, right? We'll find another player eventually. It's
Mhm.
just having to go
Inshallah.
through that whole process of not finding another player. That's gonna hurt the most. But eventually
but-
we'll find that player.
And about the Jetson thing, you could also see it right from the get-go as well. Whenever he got the ball, doesn't matter which player it was, like everyone tried to basically tackle him. He was also the most fouled player during this match as well. I believe receiving like, I don't know, 12 to 13
Yeah.
fouls in total. Like it
Mhm.
was crazy. Not
Ye-
only just Thailand, it was Thailand or Berkan or Chico Dao, everyone
Yeah.
just tried to get him down, get him off the ball because they know that he is by far their best player.
Yeah, you have no
They're-
you have no choice. Like there's literally no other choice. A player with his
Mhm.
ability and his talent, like if you allow him to play with the ball, then he's going to shred you. Like it's as simple as that. That's why like I didn't like before the match, just talking with you guys and stuff in our chat, I said I knew he was going to come and show his quality today. And the second I think it was the first time he got the ball, he made a really, really good run right down the middle of the pitch. And I was like, okay, do you know what? Every time this kid touches the ball, we need to foul him or stop him in
I
some
saw
way.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the only way. It's the only way. He's such a good player. And like he's not the most physical player, but he does, in my opinion, make up for that with his technical ability. Like he has speed, beautiful touch, beautiful passing, beautiful vision. He's a fantastic player. It's devastating we weren't able to bring him in, but that's the only way to play against a guy like that. You have to frustrate him, and every time you have to take him out of the match. You have to remove him entirely. Bring him down
Isolate him.
every time he gets the ball. We did that, and we more or less took him out of the match, right? Like the free kick, what can you do? He scored an unbelievable goal, but other than that,
He got that himself as well, huh? The
yeah,
free kick.
that's right. He won the free kick as well. Yeah. So I'm happy we approached it that way because, like I said, if you let him play with the ball, he's going to create. Like, that's inevitable. He's going to create for his team. So, he was frustrated. There were some comments after the match as well. He was calling out Marcao and Babel. He had a cut on his leg and he was made some comments and stuff. He was frustrated, but, it is what it is. That's football, right?
Yeah, Ryan Babel replied. I think he said, "What do you have to say?" And he showed like his cuts, and Babel replied saying, "Well, that's what you have to do against good players, bro."
Yeah.
And then Marcao also replied back and said, "That's the football. What can I do sometimes?"
Yeah.
Except for the last part.
As a wise man once said.
Yeah, yeah. How did you find Thailand today, John?
Well, there was one thing I did like, and that was what I just mentioned about he had a pretty good battle going with Jetson. He broke him up a couple times, which is good. Fouled him on the break a few times, so he read the room, as the kids say. He understood the assignment, So he did well there. But
Without getting booked as well until like the very last minute.
That's right. That's what I mean. He did a very good job at that. So I was happy to see that. But I don't know, man. Like everything else he does is he just doesn't do anything very standout. He's just there, So it was an okay performance, I guess. I don't really have too much to complain.
Just to give him credit on that last, not the last goal, but before that, where we basically tiki-takat
Mhm.
and Patrick van Aanholt scored. He gave that long ball from the right to the left initially, which started that whole situation. So that's I'm happy to see he can still do those long balls at least. So.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I know him to be able to do, like well.
Yeah, he's shown that a couple
He had
times.
goals like he had assists that he would lob that ball over the defense.
Yeah.
Like someone like Figuli, and he would just like tap it in.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the rest of his qualities. Yeah.
Another thing about Alexandru Chicudao, I wanted to note as well that in my opinion and what I observed, like Getson basically also covered Chikuldao a lot, like in the defense at Rizespor. And I felt like he immobilized Chikuldao a bit, and that's why we haven't seen much this game from Chikuldao. And at the same time, like you said, he also was paired up with Thailand, so just shows how good of a game he had. I wonder what his score was actually.
Who? Jetson?
Score?
Yeah, I see. I had a quick look, and I see it's like on Sofa Score, it's like 7.6. It's fairly good, I guess.
For a team that lost 4-2, I think that's still
That's
pretty decent.
good.
Yeah, and their goalkeeper wasn't that bad. He made a lot of saves as well, I think. So
One penalty save and one really good save on Marcao as well. That was a nice save, sort of a sprawling leg save.
oh yeah, that was so good.
Yeah, that was a
Man,
good
I
one.
really thought
Last
that would
ditch
go in.
attempt, yeah, that was good.
Yeah. I was hoping Marcao would put that in. Has he scored yet? And I don't think he has. Has he?
This season? No.
Like
Well,
just in,
overall, I think he scored once.
just once maybe. Yeah.
Overall, yeah, probably something like that.
Yeah, I was hoping last week Nelson put one in. This week, if Marcao put one in, that would have been good. I would have liked to see that.
Yeah. So, what did you guys think of the decision to let Gomes take that first penalty?
A mistake. We've said it
Okay.
time and time again.
Second
Chidi
half,
Jijaldao.
okay.
Yeah. I don't know. I even the last game that Gomez took 2 penalties, I was not convinced. He didn't look like he was like really like confident when he takes these penalties because he like half asses it. And I'd rather Jijaldao take these penalties because these are important penalties that you need to be taken, and he has a good track record, whereas Gomez does not. And I'm glad they let Babel take the second penalty because I don't know if he could have handled a second miss there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
those penalties, the ones he took last game, they weren't really the best quality penalties. Like
They were actually bad.
said
in my
that,
opinion.
yeah, like he scored them, but it wasn't really the best quality. And you mentioned Babel as well. I saw Babel mentioned after the match that him and Gomes have been they practiced that after training, taking penalties. So when we got the second one, Gomes gave him the nod to say go ahead and take it. So and he scored it.
I think one point I have to make on this one is like, I think I said this last time as well. I'm usually against players that just got subbed in, are cold, haven't warmed up really to the ball, to the game, that these type of players then have to take a penalty. I'd rather have someone take a penalty who's been there from the start, already into the game, already knows how the ball feels at his feet.
Yeah.
And usually that shows a much better result, is basically what I was thinking when Gomes took that pen. Of course, Babel took the second pen, which he got subbed in as well, but still got to play a bit more, so maybe a bit more warmed up than Gomes. So in any case, the Dutchies are usually good with penalties. Like, it's what they learned from academy. Yeah, no Yasin to bash on me this game, this podcast. So all free to lash out on anyone I want.
Yeah.
Which brings me to Peña. How do you guys feel about Peña? Do you think he's Gese level or not?
I mean,
Look at the 2 goals he conceded, right? Like 2 worldies. The shot from Boyd as well. That's not savable. That's like right in the right top corner. He did what he had
could
to
have
do.
saved it.
I mean, Peña did what he had to do. He came out when
He's
he
short.
had to. However, I did note, and I'm not sure if it necessarily has to do with the quality keeper. I guess it does, but I think he's had like 2 shots, and yeah, most of the shots came from outside of the box, but with like some real power, and he didn't really catch those. Like it bounced off him twice. And if there was a Rize player close by, he could have, maybe done something with it. That's the only criticism I have. Also, I think John, I'm going to steal something you said in the group, but I think he gave away the ball for no reason in the first half as well. Like, he just kicked it out.
Yeah.
I don't know why he did
Noticed
that. But that was the first and only time he did that. So.
Yeah, it was the first time I've seen him do that because like I have before and I still am praising his ball distribution. I think he's better than pretty much anyone we've had. Like his passing, his pass completion percentage is, I would imagine, really high, because that was what you just mentioned, Sali, is probably the only time I've seen him kick the ball away.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, which is really good. But like, do you watch him play, and do you ever feel nervous watching him play? Like, I'm always so confident whether we're playing the ball back to him, when he has the ball. Like, I just always feel calm, you know? And I can't say the same about anyone else, like, obviously, other than Muslera.
Ismail Jipe is not a very high bar to overachieve, right?
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, if I would have to compare, I think, like, shot stopping wise, still we haven't seen that much, because again, these 2 goals I don't think are really savable.
Mm-hmm.
I think shot stopping wise, Muslera probably still edges it. You know, he's still
definitely
better, most likely, also due to his experience. But with his feet, so far from what we've seen, even in this short sample size, I think Peña does indeed look more comfortable, not as shaky when he has the ball.
Yeah.
I guess it has to do with just
He's a
Muslera
Barca
being
product.
taught. Yeah, Barca product, and again, there's this thing about modern goalkeepers, right? Being better with the ball. I guess Muslera is more of a old school shot stopper in a way.
He's decent with the ball too, though.
Yeah.
No, I don't say he's bad necessarily. I think just Peña looks better on the ball.
Yeah.
John,
I
to
agree.
go back to what you were saying, Peña had 2 out of 6 accurate long balls, and normal passes 14 out of 18 successfully completed.
Like today, you mean, or
Today, this match, yeah.
Yeah, that's not surprising. I think today's match was probably the worst, but even though it was the worst, he wasn't bad at all, in my opinion. You know, that just, like, I think that shows how good he was in the other matches then. Because that's not crazy. Like 2 out of 6 long passes is like, okay, you know.
Most keepers don't even achieve that at all.
Yes. So even though this was the worst, it's still decent. And like I can't even think about a time where I was like, oh, come on, Peña, like you could have done better. Like, it's like exactly what Sadi said. The 2 goals they scored today were like rockets. Like, even that second goal they scored, I don't really know if he could have done better. Tyler Boyd stuck that pretty good in the corner. You know, that was a decent shot. So I don't know. I'm happy with Peña.
Bangers.
Yeah, bangers.
Both
you know?
bangers. Yeah, indeed.
Like always.
Would you guys prefer the different option than Thailand Berkan in the midfield that we had today?
You mean Pulgar?
Yeah, maybe Bulgar or Ömer Bayram. I don't know.
Yeah,
I think Bayram DM.
No.
I don't think that's necessary anymore with Pulgar. I'd like to see Eric in there. And I was actually surprised. Like, this was a pretty aggressive match, I think, too. Like, Pulgar would have got stuck in a lot today, I think. You know, maybe a player like him, maybe he would have even got sent off, you know.
Over who though? Thailand or Berkan?
Thailand probably for me.
I think most of the time
Same.
Most of the time Thailand, but today I probably would have taken out Berkan.
I totally disagree with that. Berkan, even though he might be incompetent at scoring goals, he might be incompetent in some of the passes, he is the dynamo of the midfield, and
Workhorse.
I think the workhorse of the midfield.
So, you know, everyone's main point, and one of my main points as well for Berkan, is everyone says his work rate and how much he works and stuff, right? But today Thailand ran more than him.
Yeah, but was it efficient runs?
Well,
where was he running to?
Well, the thing is that the reason why I said I'd rather have Thailand in there is because I thought Thailand did a good job at maintaining Jedson when they were 1-on-1. Maybe Berkan did the same thing and I didn't notice as much as Thailand, but I noticed Thailand more. And in today's match, that was key. That was absolutely key. So if you had another player there that wasn't managing Jedson as well, he probably would have just ran amok on us, right? But I don't know. It's not even that much of a discussion. Like, and I think anyone would be fine with either Berkan or Thailand coming out. I think everyone wants to see Eric in for one of them at the end of the day, right?
We bought Pulgar because he was ready, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's why we didn't buy Jetson, because he wasn't ready apparently. So that's the odd thing as well.
Oh, I would also say Pulgar in for Thailand actually. Because Berkan, he wasn't really playing as a DM, was he? He was pretty up high on the pitch.
That's
I think
right,
Thailand
yeah.
played more like an anchor, and I think Pulgar could... Again, we haven't seen too much. I mean, the guy hasn't played like proper minutes, but He could probably take over Thailand's spot, but again, credit where it's due. I think he did well in pocketing Getson, and just that was pretty much his job. Just try to annoy him and just try to not make him play. That he did pretty well on that. And mind you, without getting booked, because in the first half, we didn't mention it yet, but what was the ref called again? Ümit Öztürk, I think.
Yeah.
He gave like yellow cards like it was nothing for a period. Like I think within a span of like 10
half.
minutes, we got 3 yellow cards in a row. And
For nothing, yeah.
and not even for, I would say, the craziest falls. Maybe Omar's was, but like Emre Clinch, from what I remember, and Mustafa, I don't think those were as harsh.
Yeah.
But yeah.
See, like you made a point, Salih, that would influence your answer to that question that Samet asked us, right? Like he said, would you rather Berkan or Thailand come out for Eric, right? But you made a good point. You have to take into consideration what we were trying to achieve tactically. Like you mentioned how high Berkan was playing, and when Rize were trying to build out of the back, there were some times, if you look back, it almost looked like we were in a 4-4-2. Like that's how high Berkan was next to Momo pressing. Like he was so high up the pitch. So if that's what the game plan was, if that's what we were trying to achieve tactically, then yes, I would rather have Thailand come out because we need Berkan for that, right? So that's a good point and something to keep in mind as well.
And for Emre, maybe, because last game we discussed Ryan Babel or Morutsan. How did you rate Babel today? And would you rather have seen Morutsan still there?
Morutsan he was not added to the bench, right? But if you're just asking me if I would see him,
Hypothetically,
rather see him.
Yeah.
Hypothetically, honestly, I'm surprised with Babel. He actually changed the dynamic of the whole game. For once in my life, I got to witness this.
Yes, yep.
Dutchies.
The Dutchies came in clutch today. Honest to God, they came in clutch. Babel just brought a lot of dynamic like movement to the midfield. Like he was everywhere. He was pushing. He was like doing 1-2s with everybody. He was defending. I've never seen a Babel this motivated.
Yeah, I feel like we got the Babel from Beşiktaş somehow.
Exactly. He's actually beating players on 1Vs and going into the box, crossing. It's like brand new to me.
True. I was also really surprised to see that, not gonna lie. He was beating his man, and indeed, his passes were good. All in all, his game was, pretty good. Sometimes he does like take a poor decision, but it's football. No player's perfect. We don't have a Messi there. It's Babel in the end. But I was also really surprised at how well he did. And as you can see, I think Torn listened to us. Getting him in as a sub does wonders. Not starting him seems to be.
I think that's the only option. I think, right? Like I wouldn't rely on him as a starting player, but I think, like we saw today, obviously, evidently, he can be impactful coming off the bench, right? I think that should be his role. But I mentioned as well to you guys privately, I would like to see another winger brought in or transferred this summer. I do think we need someone with a little bit more quality on the other end of Kerem. If we can afford to bring another foreigner, obviously I would rather do that. But what do you like? Do you guys agree? I mean, I think we're a little bit thin in terms of good quality on the other side.
Are you forgetting we're getting back Yunus Akgün?
Yeah, I am. That's a good point. Yeah. Well, if in that case, I don't mind seeing him and Kerem then.
And he's Turkish, so
yeah, because he's just been he's been on fire. So yeah, that I would like to see that. Hopefully that works out. If that doesn't work out for whatever reason, then we will need to make a transfer. But he's been on fire, so that's exciting.
We're also losing Babel and Figuli this summer, right? Their contracts are ending. So
they're talking about extending Figuli. I don't know if they can agree on the terms though.
That's got to be like cut. Dude, like more than half. Like he's making just unbelievable amounts of money. That's so ridiculous.
He's like our second highest earner, right? I think. after Muslera. I think it's
Yeah.
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 Feghouli was good today too. Actually, he brought a lot to the table as well. Assisted Gomez.
Yeah, that's second half. And before going to the second half, maybe I wanted to make a point about the stadium, the atmosphere. And I think how many percentage fullness did the stadium reach?
I think John knows that. He looked it up. I think we had like 35K.
Yeah,
People in?
it was around 35,000 in the stadium. That's right.
And to highlight, in Turkey, with Paso League and the vaccinations, they have a
Oh, boy.
mandatory vaccination as well for getting into the stadium. So people actually went and got their third vaccination just for this game, which shows as well how good that was. And we gave away 10 tickets for the game ourselves via Twitter. So if you don't follow us yet, do it at the Lions 10 GS. But yeah, no, the stadiums were packed. It was a good atmosphere. Luckily, we won. I don't know what would have happened if we didn't. And then, yeah, we can check the second half. So, second half, Emre, you said Feghouli. You liked Feghouli a lot this time?
I think he was pretty good, decent. You know, he's not like your usual Feghouli who just wanders around the midfield doing nothing. He was defending. He passing.
It was Kandil Gecesi Feghouli.
Aynen.
Always going to throw in that Islam jab in there.
It's what makes him perform, bro.
Yeah, he was pretty active. I agree. And I think the moment that we were all stunned and left in awe was the Patrick Van Aanholt goal. I suppose you can say torrent ball. Tiki-taka, the definition of tiki-taka, maybe. That was just, surely that has to be the best goal we've scored this year. It has to be, no?
I think it's on par with the goal we scored against, was it against Lokomotiv? Yeah.
Away. That one was
yeah.
One-touch passes, right?
Yeah. With that splitting pass, right? Yeah, I agree. That was
from
very good.
Morutsan to Kerem.
Yeah. This was more of like actually, I don't know which one is better on the eyes to look. I think this one. No, this one is nicer to look at, I think.
It's deep in the pockets and being able to pass in those tight spaces.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Yeah, that's very good. That's something else. That's Ajax level for me.
Yeah.
And I love Ajax doing that. So
yeah, that was amazing.
The difference between the two goals is that when Moscow, they were pressing us, you know, and we were able to quick pass our way into their goal. Whereas Rize, they were just sitting back defending 10 men in the box, and we were able to open them up with that tiki-taka ball.
Yeah.
I don't know. Those two goals for me, they're both different, but they're like goated for me this year.
Yeah.
If we can
this
do
season,
both
I should say.
for the full 90 minutes, okay.
Oof.
That's all I want.
Champions League, here we come.
Yeah. The credits, though, to Feghouli there in how he put that pass to Patrick Van Aanholt so he could easily basically waltz in to the goal.
Mm-hmm. And also, I do this especially then for Yasin when he listens. Also credit to Berkan for giving that pass to Feghouli. The pass before.
Yeah, everyone
basically.
Everyone involved in that. That was excellent. That was so good, man. I was shocked to see that. Like, I did not expect us to score a goal that way. Like, the goals we've been scoring lately have been kind of, like, I don't want to say cheese goals, but kind of, like, penalties and, you know, like, stuff like this. But that was, like, oh, my God, that was amazing. That was high-level stuff.
I'll say this. Let me just make this quick point. When the thing that I like about this team, it's making a bounce back. When we're down, our guys are pressing still. They're not losing hope like they used to. They're not just giving the game away anymore. They're trying their best to score, and I loved seeing that from the team today, even when they were down and after they missed the penalty. So that's one thing I wanted to point out.
Yeah, I think their stamina is very high. Like, there's definitely, you can see the increase in their condition and stamina.
Not only just condition, but like spirit as well, you know, like
mentally
playing with Ruh.
Well, Torrent made a point for that as well. He when he first got to the team, he made that comment about them the tactic comment about us not being good tactically, and he also made another comment saying the physical level of the team is very low. And I think it was last week he mentioned that in his opinion, we've improved in that regard quite a bit. And I agree. I think we're seeing some improvements there. And look, I mean, we haven't lost in the league since it's been over a month. We lost last on January 23rd against Trabzon. Since then, we have 2 ties and 2 wins. So, you know, I don't know. Say what you will about Torrent and this and that and how we play, but he came at a really difficult time. He doesn't have the best squad right now. The team's morale was low. The club was in chaos, still is in a little bit of chaos. And, you know, I don't know, man. 2 draws, 2 wins in the last 4 games. You know, that's not too bad. I don't know.
Let's word it better. Unbeaten in February.
There you go. There you go.
The thing is, I think we've said this before. We need to give Torrent time. We need to be patient. He's new. He needs to settle things out and do things. Even though I've been criticizing him for basically all matches. And I still do. I think today wasn't that great first half wise. Second half I really enjoyed. But the first half was terrible. And if Rize won today with that goal from Getson, imagine what would have happened. Would we be speaking like this today?
Disaster.
Would Twitter be all positive like this today? What would happen with Torrent? What would the board do? It's
funny you mentioned the board. Even after we won, they were still chanting resign, resign.
Yeah.
Which is
because he's been lying. And that's a fact. And I'm not just saying this because a lot of the things that Burak Elmas has been saying has turned out to be a lie. And you can see that, again, we're still in shambles. He needs to pick up the board and make something out of it because, like I said, even when we talked about Ozan Wafor, not even a get well soon message, and also Ahmet Çalık.
Yes.
Yeah, nothing. Like, I don't think we have any managers left in the building that can say, do this, do that. It's just people trying to keep up with the work. But
Torrent has been very influential on Burak Elmas because let's say he didn't win today, his ass would have been on fire. But Torrent literally gave him another shot because they're going into a meeting soon in March, and that's going to be brutal for this board.
Yeah.
So from this point on, Torrent bought him and himself basically a good lifeline because this match and last match were must-win matches.
Yeah. Can I also say something about post-match interviews? Bülent Korkmaz, who we all know, been a great player for Galatasaray, has said to the media, the penalty that was given to us, if it was against Galatasaray, would that have been given? I leave that open for discussion for the media. I find that a bit lame. He also said like Galatasaray were playing very rough and fall a lot. But this guy, basically very aggressive. But this guy was the most aggressive defender I know back in his days.
Exactly.
So I found
inexperienced, emotional manager. That's what that is.
Yeah.
Inexperienced and emotional, and he's upset they lost the match. That's all that is. Because that guy's
just trying to find an excuse.
That guy is like the biggest brute, like gladiator I've ever seen in my life, and he's making comments like I don't know. He's just being emotional,
I guess.
And also foul wise, I don't really feel like we've fouled like way more than them. They also were playing, dirty in a way. I mean, we both were. It was just a very intense match. We were both just going at it.
We just happened to foul one player very consistently.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we did foul a lot, but it was only focused on one player, which was Getson, which was smart because, he's their only good player, pretty much. Yeah, I think that's indeed a bit lame. I don't think we necessarily fouled a lot harder. We were playing really dirty. The 3 yellow cards we got in the beginning, in my opinion, were kind of, BS. After that, who else got? I think Peña for time wasting, which is, part of the game, even though you may not like when it goes against you. And I think Thailand, Thailand got one very late as well. But I don't know, just I would say to Bülent, just forget about just go on with it. Just focus on staying up.
I would say chill, bro.
Yeah, exactly. Just move on, man. They weren't playing good.
Yeah.
I don't think they can really say that, like, that if we didn't foul as much that they would have won somehow, because they were just taking shots from outside of the box. They did have the ball, but they didn't create a lot.
But that's his
compared to
job
us.
as well. If he's upset that we're fouling his players or we're playing that type of game, it's your responsibility to find a way around that. Like, you know, I mean, however you want to do it. Like if you want to play that physical game right back, if you want to play more direct, more long, like you have to figure that out. So if he's crying and complaining about it, which, like Samet said, is the last person on planet Earth that should be complaining about that, you know, it's your job to figure it out, you know?
Also, we've committed 19 fouls versus their 15, so it's not like it was one-sided either, like Saleh was saying. So I don't know what he's crying about.
That's how Turkey
salt.
works, bro.
Yeah.
Just salt, indeed.
Yeah.
Salt paying that shit.
I
Hey,
know.
to wrap things up a bit, we haven't talked about our wingers and our strikers. So I think I'll ask, what did you think about Momo and Gomis being subbed in? And general performance of Kerem versus Barış Alper coming in. And of course, Emre Kılınç. We've talked enough about Babel. Dutchie's rule.
I think
So,
I'll
go ahead, John.
I'll take it. I think I just have one thing to say about Momo. I would really like to see him play a little bit more selfish. It's just a little bit. Like that chance in the second minute, I would have liked to see him. He brought the ball down, which was good. I'd like to see him turn either direction and put it right on net. He laid it off to Emre, but you know, that's your job. As Salih loves when I say, that's your bread and butter, man. You're like where the penalty spot is with the ball. Turn, put it on net. So I'd like to
He's
see
playing
him,
like a false nine almost.
yeah, like I'd like to see him be, when he has the ball in those areas, I'd like to see him be a bit more selfish. That's really the only thing I have to say about him. Otherwise, you know, it was a physical match. He adds physicality as well. I think the type of match we were playing today, I think that's one of the reasons why Torrent went with him to start the match, was that press and that speed and physicality he brings. So fine with that. Gomis, we mentioned. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I think he was fasting. He also looked really hungry.
He
The amount of
did, yeah.
tackles he pulled and how much he won the ball. Yes, offensively, maybe not as much. He indeed was not, very selfish.
He was
Took
fasting?
chances. No. It's a
Summit
joke.
always bringing
Anyway,
it back
yeah.
to some sort of religion.
He didn't get it anyway. But his defensive effort and his work rate was really, really good, actually. It's too bad that he didn't, find a lot of chance to take one in. Like, I think he took one shot, right? And I think it hit the post. That was him. But
The crazy,
outside of that,
yeah.
yeah, I know. Outside of that, he mainly lead it off to, our other players. So that's all I had to add. But
Who was man of the match for you, Saleh?
I mean, there can only be one. Our Dutchie, Van Aanholt. He has to. I mean, he has to. Okay, the second goal, obviously, it's more of a tap in at that point. But the first one, it was really crucial. It gave us hope again. Scoring right before the first half ends, it keeps morale up.
Yeah. He
Also
came clutch with
considering-
that one.
Yeah, exactly. Also considering that first half we were better, but not as good. When looking at our shots again, we only took like 3 shots inside of the box, while the other 6 came from outside. So one of his
And for you-
yeah.
And for you, Emre?
I think I'm gonna have to agree with Saleh. PVA, the man,
Pretty,
the myth.
pretty unanimous, I think. For
I
John
don't know,
Paul, I guess.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
and Samet, if you would have to give a second, like a shout to a second player, who would you say? Because I think everyone would say Patrick because of his 2 goals, right?
For me, I'm it's Dutch day today, man. I'd say Babel, and the reason I'm saying Babel is because the pen he took was very crucial. If he missed that, everything could have gone downhill. Could have been a completely different game. But even though it was a penalty, scoring that one in completely changed the game, I think, for the better.
Do
Who would
you guys
your
agree that was a
second be?
penalty? I think for me, I'd
Against
be,
Kerem?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Or the one against
No, Gomes
Gomis?
is 100% penalty, but the
Nah,
one
I
against
disagree.
Kerem.
I
Nah,
think that
it
was a
has to
soft pen against Gomis.
Against Gomes, I don't think so.
Yeah,
The
that was
goalie
soft.
hit him when he didn't even have the ball.
That's
No.
the only like thing to say about it. Like the keeper made the contact on him after he played the ball.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. It was weird penalties, I think. Even the other one on Kerem, like
But Kerem's position, that was 100% penalty, I think.
yeah, like it's I don't know. It's could go either way. Like he definitely did make contact on Kerem's right leg. Of course, Kerem turned it into like a big show when he went down and stuff. But I don't know. Some weird penalties. I think there's people on both sides of the fence for both penalties, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so second man of the match. Saleh, you were saying that. Who's yours?
If I would have to give second,
Come on, you're Dutch.
I mean, for me, I don't like to admit it, but yeah, probably Babel. I mean, it could also be Marcao, to be fair. I also think he did pretty well,
Yeah.
even though we conceded two. It were two worldies, right? Besides that, I think he did a good job defensively. But yeah, I would say
Always.
Babel. He was the impact sub, so to say.
Mhm.
He added a lot to the game. I think Emre Kılınç, just this game was a lot more quiet than what we expect from him under our new manager. So yeah, Babel did change the game. He added, as we mentioned a lot, he added experience. Was pretty composed, and I don't know what happened in training this time, but he was just in general just playing way better. I was surprised to see that. Pleasantly surprised, I should say.
I liked how they ran his rap music when he scored, and also, of course, with Gomis as well. Sano somebody.
Did they actually play his rap music? I missed that.
Yeah, they always do that.
Oh my god, I missed that. That's amazing. Wow.
What about you, John? Babel as a second man of the match? and Emre?
I was taking Marcao. But Babel is he did make a difference when he came on. But yeah, Marcao is I don't know. He's our brick wall, man. He's good, and he had that one block. I guess I can't remember who was it that shot the ball, but he just sort of like ran across and made like a diving block almost. That was pretty clutch.
He blocked one with his nuts.
That's the one. That's the one. Yeah,
one.
that's the one.
Yeah.
I kind of looked away when I saw that. I thought for sure they were gonna score, and then he got it done. So yeah, that's my second. He's a beast.
Yeah, steel balls, that guy.
Yeah.
Because he didn't show anything after that position.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I gotta give it to Torrent, man. I think he's also deserving. Nah, hear me out.
A second man of the match, Torrent?
Maybe even
That could
third.
be.
You were mentioning that we weren't playing good, but the second half he turned it around with his substitutions, man. And one
good
thing
point.
I really like that he does with our strikers, that he allocates time really well to both our strikers.
that's
so
true.
both of them can
Mhm.
have some time on. Because like Momo is there for the initial brute force, when things are going fast and physical. Then he brings in Gomes for when they're kind of tired, and he's a beast himself, but he just doesn't have that stamina. They can't hold him. When he was playing today, he was just ripping that defense apart because they were tired, physically, and he was opening up so much space for our players to move up, and he scored as well. So, props to Torrent, man.
Yeah.
Good finish, by the way. Good finish.
Yeah, good finish, good pass all around from Feghouli. That's the thing with Feghouli. He still has class, but everything around, like that's himself, is just not there.
All right. As a last statistic, go ahead, Saleh.
No, if I may just say something very random, what I do miss a bit, now that you talk about manager, what I do miss about, if I do have to say one thing that I miss about Fatih Terim, is his aura. I don't know, whenever Torrent comes on TV, I'm like I don't know, who's this guy with his jacket and such, He doesn't give me that confidence when you just look at him. I mean, obviously, we won the game, props to it, but Prem is like that proper Baba aura, Torrent just doesn't have it.
Yeah, people love it or hate it, man.
I can just hope one thing that he does is just fix this defense, because we haven't had a single clean sheet since he has arrived.
And we knew that was going to happen.
Yeah,
because
we knew that from his track record, right? Because
we discussed that, yeah.
Yeah.
Should be a betting tip, I guess. We're not going to keep a clean sheet, just do both teams to score.
Christmas
I'm
Day.
concerned.
Christmas Day was the last clean sheet. 2-0 against Antalya. That was the
Our
last
only
one.
win in that horrible run as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Europe, we're undefeated and barely conceded any goals, and now I'm concerned going against Barcelona.
It's going to be fun. Both have kind of bad defense and reasonable offense, so.
To round things up, as a final stat, our average age was 25.9. Rizespor was 27.7, which is all right, I think.
It's pretty
So,
young, actually.
Yeah, it's good. No more 30-year-olds like Falcao, 35.
Only 37-year-old Gomes.
Yeah.
And
They
Babel
came after.
35, but yeah.
Yeah, but still, you need some experience in there as
Of
well,
course.
right? So, all right. Did you have some final notes before we round it up?
Predictions, maybe?
Yeah, I think that's a good one. And before we go to predictions, do we all agree to buy the backline jerseys, Marcao, Nelson? Oh, you know what we forgot? Sasha Boy. Well, ridiculous that he wasn't played, but we can discuss that last time. So, John, you're getting Nelson. I'm getting Marcao.
Yep. That's my guy. Nelson's my guy, man.
And Yasin can take Ömer Bayram, and then Salih can take Sasha Boy.
I already have a jersey, man, but yeah. Not with a name, though.
And Samek can get Thailand.
No.
Of course.
Please
No, take
stop.
him at Bayram. Take him at Bayram. Dutch as
No,
well.
he's gonna get Babel, 100%.
I'm surprised Yasin didn't get Berkan.
Nah, we still have to get it when we're in Istanbul, so.
Hmm.
All right, predictions, boys. We got a heavy round coming up. Konyaspor, afterwards Barcelona, afterwards Beşiktaş, and then again Barcelona, and then Antep. It's crazy fixture, man. I don't know what's going to happen, but just for this time, Konyaspor predictions, what do you think we'll do? Salih, let's start with you.
Let me think. I know Konya haven't been really in form, actually, as of late. They've lost, I think,
Their last game.
The last game, and before that as well.
Mm-hmm.
And we have been waiting. However, I'm not going to be too optimistic. I'm going to say a 2-2 draw.
Oh, wow.
I think we'll draw. I mean, they're the second in the league. There's a reason for that, probably. So, I'm going to go conservative here.
What about you, Emre?
Well, piggybacking off of Salih's statement, they haven't been in good form. The last time they won was in February 4th, and that's against Giresun at home, and they only beat them by 1 goal. It seems like whenever they do win, it's by 1 goal. So if they're good defensively, they'll win, but they're not. They're conceding a lot. I think it'll also be a draw. 2-2. 2-2 for me as well.
Adam.
What about you, John?
Yes, I do think, actually, it's funny. My original prediction was 2-2, but everyone is saying that. I'm just going to say 1-1. I'm saying 1-1 because Konya, they haven't lost at home this year. They're 0 losses at home. They're a very good team in their own stadium. So I don't know if we're going to have enough quality to sort of break that streak they have going. So I do think it will be a draw, just for the sake of being different. I'll say 1-1. And, you know, there could be a surprise. I mean, in the last 4 games, I think they've conceded, I think it was 13 goals or something like that. I don't know what's going on over there. I don't follow them that closely. But they're conceding goals left, right, and center. So I wouldn't be surprised if there was an upset, you know, and we break that streak. But for now, I'm going to say 1-1.
Okay.
If I may do a little fact check, I just checked. Konya apparently do have lost once, actually, this season.
Oh, Sivas.
1.5 months ago. Yes.
Yeah,
Sivas.
you're right. Yeah.
I believe that's Samet's favorite city, right?
Bro, that's my toprak, man.
His
But I
I
ground
didn't want to
soil.
say directly, but okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nah, it's fine. Everyone is Sivaslı, bro. Half of Istanbul is Sivaslı, so.
Yeah, that's true.
So still very good at home then. 1 loss all season. That's and it's 1-0. So very
Yeah.
good at home.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be optimistic for a difference
Why, be?
because even though I critique Torrent a lot and don't like our game, I think the team is steadily increasing their stamina, their condition, They're understanding a bit more how Torrance wants to play the game. We've seen some slight hints of that today as well. And I'm going to say 3-1 win for Gala away against a very tough Konyaspor.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Look at you.
Yep. Optimistic Samo.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I did actually have a dream yesterday, which I'm going to save maybe for next podcast. Very interesting dream. And
cliffhanger.
I think we can sign off with this. Like to thank our listeners. We've been gaining a lot of traction on Twitter and Instagram, so thank you for following us. And if you haven't already, go to Twitter or Instagram and you can find us by searching on @TheLionsDanGS. And wish you all a very pleasant week ahead. Have a good working day. Have a good day in general. Goodbye. Signing off.
Good day and bye-bye.
See ya.